What's going on, people? Welcome back to Cold's Culture, and today I really want to talk about something that's really been on my mind lately, man. And that's why I stopped watching Red Pill content. For those of you who don't know, Red Pill content is basically a content style that goes against the grain of The Matrix or something like that they claim to talk about. More so the mainstream media. For people like Andrew Tate and the Fresh and Fit podcast and probably any other, I guess, alpha male podcast, I wanted to share my own opinion because obviously they've amassed their own kind of audience, and I feel like it's had a negative impact on my life, and I think it's probably having a negative impact on other people's lives as well. I kind of view them as low-key extremists now because of their radical opinions, and I think I'll probably get more into it the more the video goes by. Coming from my background, I grew up with a military father who basically taught me all of those things those guys mentioned on the podcast in the first goddamn place. So I think that's very important to mention that, because I think the Red Pill content is primarily for people that didn't grow up with that kind of masculinity in their lives or that kind of leadership. So I think that's what most of that audience is. It's primarily people who grew up around women, and by people, obviously, I mean guys who grew up around nothing but women. They didn't exactly get taught about how to be a man, or they don't even know what being a man is, and they never just got that masculine role from any guy growing up at all. So, there's pros and then there's cons when it comes to listening to that kind of content, but I'm going to explain later on in the video. So I think it's fair that I should probably mention the pros first, because obviously they have amassed a large amount of people, like their own audience. There must be some kind of merit to what these guys are saying. So obviously these guys they're speaking the truth. 9 times out of 10, these guys are speaking straight facts, like straight fucking facts about how the experience is when it comes to speaking to women, about being a man in general, talking about finances and businesses and all that stuff, man. Like, there's some things I'm gonna relate to naturally because I am a guy and I do go through a lot of those things as well. I'm not talking about like when they have business talk, because as a business owner myself, I agree to a lot of those points. Like, those guys are trying to help other men be better, you know what I'm saying? Like, points like, okay, if you're a guy and you're making like $30,000 a year, I would probably agree. You probably shouldn't be dating anybody, man. Like, you can't really afford to, pay your own goddamn rent. What makes you think that you're gonna, have enough money to sustain an actual relationship with a woman? And on those parts, I can agree on. It's just the main audience is pointed towards men who is probably already been hurt by women in the first goddamn place. And I feel like the podcast just further perpetuate that kind of animosity that men already have within them from previous women that's hurt them in the past. And I think that's primarily the reason why that I really stopped watching them myself, because I don't need that kind of negativity, because obviously negativity is broadcasted a whole lot more than it is with positivity. So I feel like guys who've been hurt by women in the past, they watch this kind of content because it makes them feel better about their situation, because they aren't the only people that's going through it. You know what I'm saying? But first, I really do think that people that listen to this kind of content just needs to take a step back and just think, who exactly are they listening to? Because Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, for example, like, these guys are literally fucking rich. You cannot compare yourself. If you're just like a regular Joe Schmo or some shit, bro, you cannot compare yourself to Andrew and Tristan Tate, because these guys are literally fucking millionaires. Their perspectives are going to be completely different than any regular dude. You can't do what Andrew Tate does, because this guy is a goddamn millionaire. And then there's Fresh and Fit as well. Like, those guys are also residing in Miami. As a guy who's lived in Miami for 2.5 years, I'll just summarize it like this. Dating is basically non-existent there. Like, it's completely non-existent. Like, relationships just don't last too long in Miami, like, at all. Basically, if you're not giving up your morals for money, if you're a guy down there, you're wrong. And if you're a female down there that doesn't have a fat ass or titties or some shit, that's apparently your only fucking value, and you're also wrong. So that's why a lot of girls down there get a whole lot of BBLs or whatever, man. It's a very, should I say, primal, kind of state to live in. Very toxic. Everybody there is goddamn toxic. So that's where they're residing at. Fresh and Fit brings on the most Miami dumb bimbo ass bitches on the planet Earth. The Instagram models or whatever, and they completely just obliterate their entire lives. They get these girls, these Instagram models or whatever, the girls that probably didn't even have a dad in the first goddamn place, and they bring them on their podcast. I feel like they just wait until these girls probably just say something that goes against some sort of value, and then they just annihilate their entire fucking lives on the podcast as well. And then the viewer, which is more than likely a guy, is like, oh yeah, you fucking get her, Myron. Yeah, men, alpha male, and all that fucking shit, man. Like it just gets kind of ridiculous. Like, I just zoomed out for a second, and I'm like, okay, I'm seeing a cycle here. And I'm seeing that these guys keep trashing these women, but one thing that I am noticing is that, you know, they're not actually like giving a positive or self-improvement outlook on everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, here's this bitch who is just unfixable entirely. I don't think there's any like main conclusion for the viewer to look for. Like, maybe I need a little bit more direction, because the only thing I just got from this interview is that all women are just pieces of shit. Like, all of them are just fucking horrible, and that's it. Like, they didn't really help my situation at all. Like, all they did was just make me hate women more. It just gave me more animosity towards women. And if I'm thinking like that, if I don't have my shit together, then I'm probably not gonna have a fucking girlfriend anytime soon. And that's exactly what was happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a relationship, if I want a girl to have her complete shit together, you know, I don't want her to have any issues with any exes or anything like that. Well, guess what? Whoop-de-fucking-do, James. I have to be the same way. I have to have my shit together too. So if I'm carrying all this animosity towards women from all these goddamn podcasts and wanting to be an alpha male, the whole point of alpha and sigma males is just kind of ridiculous in the first place. Because if you have to say those things, like if you just randomly go up to somebody or just go up to fucking females or something and be like, hey, you don't want to mess with me, I'm a fucking alpha male. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll fuck you up. Why do you have to say that? If you were already alpha or a sigma male, you wouldn't have to mention that to anybody. People will already recognize not to fuck with you in the first goddamn place. You don't need it. I just feel like the whole labeling thing that's just delusional as hell. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's radical, if for lack of better words, I guess. Like, just through my personal experience, I just feel like if you want to improve yourself, or if you're just looking for self-improvement in general, I don't think, well, I guess in a guy's perspective, listening to these Red Pill podcasts aren't exactly the best for you, honestly. I feel like if you're seeking self-improvement, if you're trying to get better at the dating game or something like that, man, first of all, you need to get yourself out of the environment of hoes. If you don't want to talk to hoes anymore, then stop going to their natural habitat. That's where all the hoes and, you know, fuck niggas reside. They all reside in the club. If you know that this person is going to the club on a consistent basis, and they're basically playing the game. If you know that they're playing the goddamn game in these environments, then you probably shouldn't be looking for a girlfriend there, bro. If you do go to these environments, you better be ready to play that goddamn game too, and be, you know, wanting to probably do other people wrong just like how they're doing you wrong. Because this is pretty much how it goes, I guess, through a guy's perspective. Guy goes to the club, he meets a female, he has sex with her, she turns out to be super fucking cool or whatever, and that's it. They're only looking at it objectively. Like, she's just a beautiful woman. I was able to bag, you know, the pussy and all that fucking shit. And bada bing, bada boom. And then since you guys have sex, I'm real scientific. I'm a fucking nerd. Oxytocin gets released. You have a feeling towards this kind of person, and then you want to spend your time with them even more. But whoop-de-doo, motherfucker. You fucking met this girl, this woman at the club, a place where hoes reside. What makes you think that this person is actually going to stay loyal to you, man? That's just the type of environment the club is. But younger men don't think about that. They don't think about the environment that they're in, or maybe the kind of people that they're, you know, surrounding themselves by. That's where learning comes through. It's a learning experience. You have to grow up and get out of these environments if you actually want to find somebody that's worth a fucking damn. Most of the time, all the good guys or females are not at the clubs. They're literally anywhere else but the clubs, man. I mean, granted, dating sucks just in general, like, because you're basically putting your trust under the discretion under another human being. And it's hard, man, but what's not hard nowadays, man? Like, life is hard in general. In life, you really have to just choose your hard, man. For real, for real. As a guy, dating is gonna fucking suck. As a girl, dating is still going to fucking suck, man. But if you want to get yourself out of that environment, then just maybe do a couple of reading, man. Just get yourself out there, go to a fitness class, something of your interest. And if something that is of your interest doesn't have any women, you have to change something, man. You have to put yourself around women, put yourself around women's situations. And worst comes to worst, if you just cannot find any like good women at all, try fucking Target, man. You can find fucking bitches at Target, Starbucks, just you have to go where women reside, man. And don't go to those goddamn dating apps. Dating apps is probably the worst fucking option on the planet Earth, man. Let me put you on game. So dating apps, there's only 15% of women that actually get on these goddamn dating apps, and this is for the guys, that actually get on these dating apps and want to take dating seriously. Like for real. Only 15% of them. The rest of them are just on there because they're goddamn bored, or maybe they want an ego boost, man. Get off these goddamn dating apps. They're not good. You're better off, literally, statistically speaking, you have more of a chance of finding a girlfriend at Walmart than you do finding a goddamn girlfriend on Tinder or some shit. Tinder, don't even get me started on goddamn Tinder, man. That's like a completely different situation. Just no. Even before I met my girlfriend, I deleted these goddamn apps because they weren't doing anything for me at all. So yeah, that's just a whole different conversation. But back to the Fresh and Fit podcast. I used to watch them just a crap ton, man. I remember my father used to send me a lot of their videos because, they were spitting facts about women or anything like that, man. But as I said before, I just had to quit watching it, man, because I found myself in a really bad space watching their kind of content. And honestly, for me, it just didn't work out. As soon as I stopped watching their content, and as soon as I stopped going to the club and I started putting myself around people that are actually worth a damn and just getting myself out of that environment completely, that's when I started, meeting quality people in general. You know what I'm saying? Just, it's going to require a certain amount of change in order for you to actually find quality people to actually hang around. And by quality people, I'm talking about people with good values. And that goes for your friends and your relationship partners, anybody who you decide to be around regardless. That goes for guys and females. And I guess it just goes in general. Like, obviously, my friends, like, if I know that there's a guy, maybe he's cool at work, you know what I'm saying? And maybe he's consistently cheating on his goddamn girlfriend, and you decide to go out with him, and he's just on some low shit, man, for example. I mean, I don't think that you should be around that kind of influence. Like, why would you want that influencing you, man? I mean, if you ask me, I would want to put myself in a situation of intelligent people to be around so you can kind of become them in a way. You're still yourself, but you are who you hang with. You want to hang with people on a positive outlook with a positive mindset, so your mindset will also thrive off that as well. If you're consistently hanging around negative people, which is most of society, most of the time, then you're going to be negative yourself. So surround yourself by positive people, man, and just change something, man. You have to do something, create a plan of action. Male loneliness is a real thing. Like, if you do nothing and you don't talk to women at all, then you're not going to find a girlfriend, man. You need to change something. And that something could be literally anything, man. Start going to different locations. Start actually going up to females. Start looking up, maybe reading some books about how to approach women, and maybe some YouTube videos other than Red Pill people who speak about how to fairly approach a woman the correct way and how to have that, I guess, not even a player cap. Like, how can I explain it? Like, you got to put your hoe cap on to mark who's a hoe and who's a quality woman to actually be around. And you also have to have some sort of respect and value towards yourself as well, because you don't want to get affiliated with the wrong kind of people at the same time. So yeah, that's pretty much just all I had to say about it. I mean, it's definitely a gamble, and I'm just giving my personal view, my personal experience of how Red Pill content has affected me. Obviously, I mean, it's pretty much just all about perception for the most part. And I guess through James's life, Red Pill content did nothing but perpetuate my already existing animosity towards women back when I was single and back before I could just zoom out and just realize who the hell I was listening to. And again, it wasn't until I stopped listening to this content entirely and just started changing my friend groups entirely, that's when I started putting myself around quality people. So I guess at the end of the day, influence yourself by quality people at the end of the day, and don't put yourself around any negative mindset, negative kind of people, man. That's not good for you. And trust me, if you're living in hatred and animosity towards women, you're not gonna have a girlfriend ever. So there will require some change. But hey, that's all I have for today, man. If you guys stay this long, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment. Hey, what do you guys think? How does red pill content, has it helped you? Like, I want to hear everybody else's story because it hasn't really helped me that much. Probably because all the lessons that they try to teach, I probably already learned because I had a dad or whatever, man. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe, and hey, I'll see you guys later.